What is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to discuss the Legendary Trials update now that it is officially live in game. So yes, you guys can participate, as all of these Legendary Trials that have been previously run are effectively in the game now, kind of similar to how the Scourges are run. So just a quick recap for you folks that missed this update in the Marvel Strike Force update. In regards to how the setup now is going to be going forward, these Legendary Event Trials is essentially set up the exact same now following the Scourge format, where they're going to be reoccurring every 2 weeks. And how it's going to work is that 1 week the Scourges will be on in regards to the Legendary Horsemen, and then followed by the Legendary Trials. So then they're basically going to be switching every week, and it gives an opportunity for many players to obviously have this as a recurring event now, and we can take advantage of getting shards and unlocking. But to be honest, I do have some mixed feelings about it, and I'm going to be going through that in this video, but as well kind of recapping for you guys what works and what doesn't, as well as relinking all of my video guides below, so that way if you guys need to go forward with the unlocking guide, thankfully many of my guides are still relevant, as not many changes have been applied. No characters or teams have been added. It's been basically the exact same. It's just the formatting of how you earn points now and shards. So let's get this party started. First thing with the Nova Trials, this is essentially how it's kind of set up now, as you can see from milestone 1 to milestone 12. Now, mind you, these point totals might be a little different dependent on the shards you have, but it essentially encapsulates what the totality of how you're going to be getting the shard unlocked for Nova. So typically that 475 to 500k points is where you would unlock Nova for the first time, and I believe he comes out at 3 stars. And for his event unlock, you do need the Masters of Evil and or Quicksilver. In addition to that, you can use X Factor, but they're not really relevant in the game, so I exclude that verbiage there. In order to hit the 7 stars here, based on an account that has 0 shards, you can see you actually need to go to the very bottom of milestone 12 here, hitting 1 million points in total scoring. So that's how you get the full 7 stars on him. And to do that, there is a couple of ways. Unlike the other trials that we're going to talk about later on, you can do this through difficulty 7, doing all the nodes, or you can do it through difficulty 8 by doing 9 nodes, which excludes the final one, and that's still going to get you the 1 million points. Very feasible. The format right now is node 1, you can use any character or team. Then 2, 6, and 10 requires Masters of Evil and or Quicksilver and X Factor if you haven't built up. City Hero for 3 and 7. Global Bio for 4 and 8, and then finally Cosmic Characters for 5 and 9. Overall, I think the difficulty is pretty smooth, especially with Nova and his team falling quite off the meta. I think out of the 3 trials right now, Nova's trial is definitely the easiest, which is why you'll have the most value if you guys are trying to min-max a team. And speaking of min-maxing, I do have that documented right here, which is my Masters of Evil team that I was able to utilize. As you can see, total combat power of only 780k, and again, I'm going to link my video guide below if you guys want to watch that for reference on how I did that. But it only consisted of 2 characters at gear tier 14, 2 at 15, and then finally my Kang at gear tier 18, who really carried the majority of the battle here. So you can see even at 780k total combat power, they were able to clear the 1.35 million points, which is difficulty 8, node 9, and yes, that would be able to cement you the full 7 stars of Nova, which is why I like about this format. This is the easiest trials, and as well, you can actually use a budget value team if you don't want to bring all these characters up to gear tier 16, 17, and beyond. Well, you don't have to. This team is able to get it done, and I was able to document that as well for your guys' viewing pleasure. Next up, we have Black Cat Trials here. So I think this one is either the second hardest or the most difficult out of the 3, depending on the teams you have. Similar to Nova, it's going to be close to that 500k mark to unlock, as you can see, based on the milestones. However, the difference with this milestone compared to the last is that you actually do need to hit 1.4 million points total to actually get the 7 stars on Black Cat. Mind you, Black Cat definitely has a much more stronger presence right now in the meta, especially with her being a really strong and powerful arena meta team, especially if you don't have Super Skrull and Apocalypse. Well, Secret Defenders is the meta right now in the arena meta. So maybe they wanted to add some more points to make it more difficult to unlock her. That could be very well the case, but for her unlock, you do need to have Nowhere or Sinister 6 teams required, and it's going to be obviously interchangeable for those 3 nodes. Again, 7 stars, you need to hit the 1.4 million, which is essentially difficulty 8 all nodes. You don't really have a choice in this matter. The breakdown for the legendary playthrough is, again, similar. Node 1, you can use any character or team. Then it's Nowhere Sinister 6 for 2, 6, and 10. Mystic Villain. Then we have Global Controller. And then finally we have Brawler. I definitely think there's some challenging issues with the Mystic Villains and Global Controllers if you don't have some of the meta characters. You know, for example, Dr. Doom and Morgan Le Fay just wreak havoc on these nodes. And as well, having both Nowhere and Sinister 6 is great, but you don't need both teams, which is nice. This is before they make that switch here where you do need the requirement of both teams that we'll see in Green Goblin Trials. So thankfully, you can actually still get it done with a Valley team. Now, because of the fact that I only had a limited running of this and I can't participate anymore with the full 7 stars of Black Cat, this is how I was able to get it done anyways. A 770k team with Nowhere, as shown above, actually hit 1.6 million points. And yes, I'll link that again below. I'm going to link everything for you guys to reference if you need to see the playthrough. But that only consisted of 3 characters at Gear Tier 16, one at 15, and then a couple of 16, a couple of 15, and then finally we have Nova actually not being Gear Tier 18, which is pretty surprising. It's a well-balanced team, right? So as you can see, the mixture of the team and them getting the war boost was pretty notable. And again, they were able to clear all nodes on difficulty 8. I definitely think they were easy, but again, they've fallen off the meta quite a bit. So that's why I don't know if I would recommend bringing them up if you don't have them built up already. The real value team should be the Sinister 6 because of the fact that we have the Superior 6 rework, and in addition to that, they're a much more relevant team in the game. I wasn't able to fully test this, but in my Black Cat trials, when I was working on my Sinister 6 slowly, what you see on the screenshot here is how high I built them up, and they were able to clear difficulty 7 at 9 nodes, and that generated almost 1.1 million total points. So you can see how powerful they were already getting, and none of them were at Gear Tier 16, unlike my Nowhere team. So if you have the majority of your Sinister 6, Superior 6 characters at 16, you should be able to get the job done here at the 1.4, 1.5 million to score the 7 stars for Black Cat. So that's the route I would personally recommend, just because of the fact that you're going to be getting value in Crucible War, and they're one of the best teams right now in the game. And then finally, guys, we have the Green Goblin Trials here, and again, because with it being the most recent Legendary Trials, it's very similarly formatted to Black Cat. So kind of that 500k mark to unlock at the 3-star required team is going to be Rebirth and or New Avengers. And as well, in order to hit the full 7 stars again, similar to Black Cat, you do need the 1.4 million, and that's going to require you to go through difficulty 8 with the majority, if not all, the nodes, depending on the Scourges or packs that you activate. The format, very similar. Node 1, you can use any character or team. Rebirth and New Avengers being needed for the 2, 6, and 10. City Villains, so I put in brackets Sinister 6 because you're going to get some double, triple value if you already have these characters built up from the previous trials, being the Black Cat. So obviously you can take advantage of that. You can also get some value of, you know, characters that are just really prominent right now in the game. So Global Blaster, for example, has the Extreme X-Men team, the majority of them that you can use now, and then Tech is one of the easiest sections, so you can definitely take advantage of that. So the reason why this one kind of changed how we maximize value is because of the fact that you actually do need both Rebirth and New Avengers in order to participate in difficulty 8. If not, the highest you can go is difficulty 7, utilizing only one of the 2 required teams. Now, what remains to be seen if there's going to be any changes in the future, if they'll kind of relinquish that option to make it easier. But because of these events being still pretty new, and especially with Green Goblin only being run twice so far, I don't know if this change is going to be coming anytime soon. Maybe the end of 2024. I'll definitely make an update video if that's the case, but just something to be mindful of. This is the one out of the 3 trials here where you need 2 required teams if you want to participate in difficulty 8, which unfortunately is the only way you're going to be able to hit the 1.4 million points, giving you the 7 stars here of Green Goblin Classic. So how does this look for the teams? Well, some good news and some bad news, right? I actually was not able to participate in this at all in difficulty 8 because as you can see in my New Avengers team, I just didn't bother. I didn't build them up, and and I can't even participate anymore because I actually got the 7 stars of Green Goblin. So even just to sample and test trial it out with the new Avengers built up, I won't have that opportunity. But you likely need them at gear tier 16 and 17 in order to actually participate in difficulty 8 and above. And as well, you need both teams, right? So for me personally, I use my Rebirth team. They're quite juicy, 1.48, almost 1.5 million. But keep in mind, guys, this is a big note for all of you kind of planning for the end game. Remember, Captain America and Captain Carter, they are officially now part of the Out of Time team with Black Knight, and as well as Cosmic Ghost Rider and Starbrand. So their value is not going away anytime soon. So you're gonna likely need these characters built up already. So you're double dipping in value there. Again, the downside with this trial is the fact that you do need 2 teams in order to participate in difficulty 8, and it's the first out of the 3 that we've seen like this. And I'm assuming because with this event being the most recent, we're likely going to see this pattern persisting going forward. So that way, folks are spending more or, building up teams higher. So that way it's going to help with Scopely and balances revenues as well. So either way, I'm glad I was able to capitalize on the 7 stars before this happened, but something to be mindful of in the future if they retain these trial events, we're likely going to be building up 2 required teams going forward. So guys, my advice for you all, very similar to kind of how I broke down my Scourge's update for the Horsemen. We don't need to unlock all 7 stars of these characters right away, as you can see. I just want to break down and give you guys a summary so that way you had a quick little recap here, and as well as all the links and guides to the videos that you need. But as well, just make sure that you're focusing on the unlock. I think getting the character, obviously at the end of the day at 3 or 4 stars is one of the most important things. Getting the access to their abilities and them synergizing with another team to build up in your roster over time, that's going to be what's the most meaningful, right? If getting that 5, 6 star later on over time and ultimately the 7 stars later, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a marathon and not a sprint. Naturally playing your game, your roster will become stronger. You're going to be able to do this eventually. And then lastly, guys, in due time, we may see additional updates like how they did with the Horsemen, where they added additional teams to make it easier and obviously more player friendly. But in the meantime, because of these events being quite recent still, we likely won't see any changes maybe until the end of the year when they decide to kind of release that grip hold on this and make it even easier. But going forward, this is kind of the format we're expecting now. And again, these events are going to be recurring every 2 weeks. So it's on right now. It's going to be back in another 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. Again, I'll have everything linked below so that way you guys can see how I used these certain value teams to get through it. But hopefully this helps you guys in the unlock. Good luck with all the legendary trials now that they're effectively running. And again, this is the new format for 2024 and going forward. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know anything in comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.